Hi everyone, and welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to continue modeling some of the details for building 4. So, let's begin. So, this is where we were last time, and we are going to continue by creating the balconies for the second floor. So, we're just going to duplicate the ones on the third floor, and we're going to come to the front view and just move the copies down and place them there. And we're going to modify this part here because it's a bit different from the one on the third floor. So we're just going to make a copy of that and move it to the right. And we're going to merge these balconies, these three balconies, so they are only one. So we're going to do that. And we're going to come to the perspective view. And here we're going to select these parts here at the bottom. And to make this easier, I'm just going to turn everything else off so we can work only on that. We're just going to select these polygons here and we're going to delete them. And we're going to do the same with the other polygons on this other side. So we have to come here and select those polygons. Make sure that you don't select anything else and just delete them. So now we're going to take this out to work easier. And we're going to take this other one out there. And we're going to do the same. We're just going to select those polygons and delete them. Okay. And we have to do the same with this other part. So we're going to find it and select it. And just delete those polygons. Okay. So now we are going to take this out. And we are going to merge all of these parts together. So we're going to select the connect and delete. And now this is only one object. So I'm going to hide the rest of the objects and I'm going to go to the point mode and we're going to merge these points using the weld tool. Okay, so we just have to weld them all and just the last one. And we're going to do the same on this other side. So let's just we can do this in a different manner. So we're just going to select all of those points, bring them close together, and we're going to go to mesh, command, and optimize, and we're going to weld them all. So you can see that there are always different ways to do the same thing. And here I'm just checking that these points are welded. So now we can turn on the visibility for the rest of the object. And we're going to do the same thing that we did for the base with those parts here. So we're just going to take them out first. And now we're going to hide the rest of the objects. And we're going to select them all. And we're going to merge them together. So again, connect object and delete. And now this is only one object. So we can go ahead and delete these parts that we don't need anymore. Okay. And we're going to close those holes and delete those polygons. and also this one. Okay, so now we're going to weld these points just like we did before. Okay, and now we can do the same with this part. So let's delete everything and let's close these holes and let's delete these polygons and let's weld the points like that. Okay, so now this is done and now we can continue and we're going to make everything visible again, and we don't need those circles, so we're just going to delete them. So we're just going to delete them all, this one too, and those ones. Okay, so now we're good, and we're going to get rid of these bars at the sides and those ones and also those ones. Okay, so now this is done. And we're going to continue by cleaning up the file. So we're going to start with the bar and we're going to select all of these bars and place them inside of this group. So all of these front bars are only on one folder. And we're going to do the same with the bars on the side. And these ones we're going to place them inside of this front group also. So now this is much better. So we don't have too many groups that we don't need. And now we're finished with these balconies. I'm just going to rename them. Okay. And now we can turn on the visibility for this building and we can make a render. And this looks really good. So we can turn on the visibility for the other buildings and we can make another render. And we're going to make a few more renders just to see how these buildings look together. And we can make another render from here and this really looks nice. So let's make another one here just to see the balconies that we just made. Okay, just one more. And this is looking really nice. So we're now going to continue. And now we're going to make some little roofs. So we're just going to duplicate this roof. And we don't need the symmetry, so we're just going to delete it. And let's see what we have. Okay, so we're going to delete some of these copies. So we're just going to work with two tiles. That's going to be enough. And I'm just going to reposition the axis for the roof group. Okay, so just there, that should work. Okay, and now let's see what we have. So let's turn on the clones, and we don't need that many, so we're just going to reduce the count. Okay, so now we can come to the front view to work better, and we're just going to move this over here, and we're just going to change the count. Okay, and we're just going to make sure that this is in the middle, and we're just going to place it there. And now we can come to the perspective view, and here we're just going to make sure that this is not going through the wall like that. So we're just going to rotate this. I like that. And now we're going to make a base. So we're just going to create a tube, and we're going to change the rotation segment. So let's select it. Let's hide the rest of the object just to work with this one. And we're going to change this to 3, and we're just going to make it thinner like that. Okay, and let's just try with a subdivision surface just to see how it works. And we can delete that, and let's make this an editable object. Okay, let's just modify it a bit before we make it editable. Okay, now we can make it editable, and we're going to just optimize these points so this works well. Okay, and we can make some subdivisions on these different edges like that. That's going to be enough, or we can just leave it like that. We're not going to use a subdivision surface for this one. It's going to be too far away, so we don't really need that much detail. So now let's just turn on the visibility for this one, and we're going to move it there, and we can turn on the visibility for the building too. So this is going to be the base, and we're just going to place it here, so we have to rotate it, and now we have to make it smaller, and now we can rotate it this other way, and now we can move it and place it just under this middle roof. Okay, and it still is too big, so we have to make it even smaller, and we have to place it back just there on the wall. So this is going to hold this little roof, and now we can come to the point mode and select all of those points, and we can just move them, and we can come to the right view just to place it there. Okay, I like that. I'm just going to move it a little, and now I can come to the front view, and I'm just going to zoom a little. So now I'm just going to place it there, and I can make a copy and place it on the other side. And I'm just going to rename this to base L and base R. Now we can come to the perspective view and see how this looks when we render it. And I like it, but we can make it a bit thicker. So I'm just going to select all of the points and scale these horizontally. Okay, so now I'm just going to duplicate this and just move it to the right. And there. And now we can come to the perspective view and we can make a quick render just to see how this looks. And it looks nice. So let's zoom in a little and let's just adjust the position and we can make a quick render. So I really like it, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And we're going to rename this to little roof. And we're going to place all of these elements inside of a new group. And we're just going to rename it to roof B. Make a copy. Rename this copy to roof C. And we're just going to move this new roof to the right. I'm just going to delete it for a second and just adjust the axis. So when we have these copies, they are going to be okay. So I'm just made a copy and we're just going to move it to the right, place it there in the middle, like that. Okay, I'm just checking that this is properly aligned. Now it should be okay. And now let's make a quick render. And this looks really nice. So we're just going to leave it like that. And we're going to continue with the other roofs. So let's rename this first. And now we're going to take both of these groups and we're going to put them inside of this building O3 on the third floor. And we can group them together and just rename the group to roof. And now we're going to unhide the other balcony set. We're going to place them inside of this second floor on this building O4 group. And now we're going to make a copy of one of these sets of roofs. And we're going to come to the front view. And here we're just going to place them there. Okay, so we have to modify a bit this one. So we're going to decrease the count. That should work. Now let's move it to the right. So this is in the center. And we only have to move the bases. So let's make sure that this one is centered and also this one. Okay, so let's zoom in. Okay, so now this is good. And now we can come to the perspective view and we can make a render. And I really like the way this is going. So we're just going to do the same for the rest of the windows and the rest of the doors. So first we have to duplicate this roof And we're going to come to the front view because we can work here much easier. And we're going to move this new roof to the left. And we have to decrease the count. 12 should work. And just center this one. And I'm just going to move the base. Okay. I'm just going to rename this to roof B and this one to roof C. So I'm just going to place this one here. And now I can duplicate this roof B and just move it to the right. So this one should be the correct size for these windows because it is the same as the other one. So that should work. Let's just rename it. Okay, so now let's come to the perspective view. And here we're just going to organize everything. We're going to put all of these inside of a group. And we're going to take this one I'm duplicated. And we're going to rename it to roof A. So now on the front view, we can just have this single roof. And we're going to do the same. We're just going to decrease the count. So let's select those and decrease the count. And we have to move this base there. So this one is, we have to just modify the axis. And now we can move this and place it in the center. So this one is finished. We can make a copy. And we're going to take this copy and put it on this third floor. Okay, so now we're going to copy the values for the y-axis. And we're going to take that as a reference. We're going to copy this value. And we're going to paste the value here. So this is on the same level as the other one. And now we can continue renaming this. So we're going to just make a copy of this one and move it to the right. Just place it there. And now back on the second floor, we're going to select this roof A and make a copy and rename it to roof E. And we're going to move this one to the right. So let's zoom in to center it. Okay, so now we have all of our roofs on the third and second floor. And we're just going to make sure that all of these are on the same group. And we can move them just a little bit up. Okay, so I like it. And now we can just go to the perspective view. Okay, it looks really nice. So let's just organize this. We can place this on the second floor. And we have these ones on the third, so that's okay. And we're just going to make visible the rest of the elements. And we're going to make a few renders just to see how all of these elements look together. One more from this angle here. And it really looks nice. So you can see that with very little effort, we can make something look a little bit complex, even if it's just copies of copies. But you can just have some of the elements a little bit different than the others, so they don't look like a copy. So this is all for this part of the tutorial, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.